Just look how adorable he is. I'm so excited about this recipe. Definitely one of my more creative Halloween autumn inventions. It's basically a take on Norwegian Skoleboller, which are made with a vanilla custard and coconut. But instead, I've made a pumpkin pie custard. Now, I know this isn't everyone's favorite and it's a very American thing, but I do like it, and I think it goes really well with the bun. And then, of course, I decorated for Halloween because it's orange, and I thought, why not? This is such a fun way to put a little twist on a classic Norwegian baked good. And yeah, just do something fun for the Halloween and autumn season. So definitely give it a go. I'm going to show you how to make them. Now we start with the pumpkin custard. This is basically the same as making like a vanilla custard, but it just has pumpkin puree and pumpkin pie spice or mixed spice added to it. You'll see that the measurements on the video and in the description below do not match the measurements I'm adding. That's because I made way too much pumpkin custard and then I had it left over and I didn't really feel like eating it. So to be honest, it was wasted and I don't want the same thing to happen to you guys. So we're just making basically half of what I'm making in this video to put on top of the buns. To make the custard, you basically mix together all the ingredients except the milk, and then you slowly add the hot, not fully boiling, but hot milk into that mixture, and then add the mixture into the rest of the milk on the stove. Then you need to heat it up, and you need to make sure that it comes to a simmer or a boil because that's what activates the cornstarch and causes it to thicken up. If you're stirring for hours and hours or even more than like 5 minutes, you need to turn up the heat and make sure you're activating that cornstarch. Butter gets added, which gives it a great silky, smooth consistency, and then you need to cool it until you're ready to use it, and always make sure to put cling film all the way down on top of the custard so it doesn't form a skin while it sits. Now, while that cools, we move on to making the dough. This is like a basic enriched bread dough recipe, so we start with yeast and add some warm milk to that and sugar, which helps the yeast to come to life, and then we whisk that together and add an egg and some vanilla extract, which gives it that delicious vanilla flavor. We then add the flour, the salt, and the softened butter. I like to add it in this way because I don't like the salt to be touching the yeast, and then as you mix it, it kind of becomes distributed throughout and won't kill the yeast. Then you just knead that for about 10 minutes in a stand mixer, maybe longer if you're doing it by hand, until it's nice and smooth and well combined. It shouldn't be sticky. Let this rise until about doubled in size, and now we're going to shape some basic buns to start. So you're just going to shape these like you would shape like bread rolls. And I really like them to be even, so I will weigh the full weight of the dough and then split this into, in this case, 10. So divide it by 10 and then weigh each piece. I find that this takes a little bit longer, of course, and a little bit of extra effort, but honestly the final result is worth it because you actually do get pretty even buns out of it. And then we just shape them like we'd shape bread rolls. So you pinch the dough together and create a seam on the bottom, which you then roll with a cupped hand against the countertop or a board, and then you create surface tension and you have this really nice round roll. Now we let these rise for about 15 to 20 minutes. I think I might have given mine 30 because it was kind of a cold day. And then we press down the center with a glass, or you could use your fingers. The glass does stick, but honestly the dough shouldn't be so sticky that you can't get it off, and you can press down a bit more with your fingers, and then we let these rise again. After the second short rise, you will want to press down the indentation again with your fingers and then do an egg wash. This will give them a really nice brown color. Next, we will add the custard on top. Again, like I mentioned earlier, I made way too much, so you should have, hopefully, enough to fill all the buns, but not have loads left over like I did. Before baking, you really want to make sure that these are properly proofed. If not, what might happen is the dough will rise too much, and then you might have the custard spilling out over the sides, and we definitely don't want that. So make sure to use the poke test here. So when you poke the dough, it should spring back slowly and leave an indentation. That means it's ready to bake. So now when they're baked, they'll be a little bit jiggly, as you can see, straight out of the oven, but as they cool, they'll set a little bit more. You could obviously stop here and serve them the way they are. I think the pumpkin custard gives them a nice festive autumn look just on its own. Obviously, I wanted to do a Halloween twist, so I added some simple powdered sugar icing, just crisscross to make it look like a bit like kind of a mummy was what I was going for, then added a sprinkle of coconut on top and then some edible inflatable googly eyes, of course. I think they are so cute. They're not really scary, they're just cute. It's kind of scary to think that you could eat something so cute, but they are also delicious. And I made a few without coconut, of course, as well. So are they too cute to eat? Let us know in the comments. Now time to try it. I'm not gonna lie, I feel kind of bad trying it now because they have eyes, but that's okay. It's still just a bun. Okay, if you like pumpkin pie, you'll like this. If you don't like pumpkin pie, stick to the original vanilla custard base because it truly just tastes like pumpkin pie filling. But it is really delicious. I think it goes really well with like the classic vanilla bun base. I didn't add cardamom to it, which you could do if you wanted to. And yeah, the icing obviously adds added sweetness, and the coconut just adds a little bit of texture, but nothing crazy. So really fun and delicious. And if you're looking for like a different way to enjoy pumpkin pie flavors and all of that, definitely give these a try. Thank you so much for watching. You can find the recipe. Where will the recipe be? Probably not going to be up on our blog yet, but you can find it in the caption below, and you can find our regular Skoleboller recipe up, and then we just did a twist on that. So if you like this video, make sure to leave a comment and like it, and of course subscribe to our channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!